Hey everyone, welcome back to POL 702, Advanced Techniques of Political Science Research. This week we're going to review some of the basic concepts, properties, and assumptions of linear regression. And we're going to go a little bit beyond the material in the textbook because I want to focus a little bit more on kind of the frequentist properties of OLS and linear regression before we move on to kind of Bayesian inference and the way the Gelman book kind of talks about linear regression and derives some of the models, okay? Just briefly for the outline for the videos that I'm going to post this week. The first one will focus, as I mentioned, on the frequentist properties of OLS. So we'll talk a little bit about kind of what kind of assumptions we make in the frequentist framework and what kind of properties when it comes to, for example, unbiasedness and efficiency OLS has from this frequentist perspective. Then I'm going to show you a coding example where I kind of illustrate some of the kind of basic ideas behind regression inference in R, again from a frequentist standpoint, and we're going to look a little bit at how to compute standard errors and things like that. Then in the third video, I'm going to talk about linear regression and maximum likelihood estimation, and this was kind of brought up in your readings for this week, as an aside that the OLS estimator is also, can be expressed as a maximum likelihood estimator. I'm going to talk a little bit more about what exactly that means and the idea behind kind of the maximum likelihood theory of inference. And then in the last video, again, I'll have a coding example where I will show you how to program your own OLS estimator or your own maximum likelihood estimator for a linear regression model. So it should be a fun set of videos. Your to-do list for this week, you have quite a few readings in addition, of course, to the lecture videos that I'm going to post in the next couple days. Of course, as always, please work through the code for this session on RStudio Cloud. All my code is available. The data sets for the examples are available as well. So as you watch the videos, as always, please check out the code and make sure you kind of follow each, all the commands step by step. Then, of course, please read the assigned chapters in our textbook. That's chapters 6 through 8, where we have kind of the basic regression review in that textbook. I have some additional readings. One is kind of on maximum likelihood or the likelihood theory of inference, King chapter 4. You already read kind of the first 3 chapters in the previous week, and this chapter kind of adds kind of this idea of maximum likelihood and gives you a little bit more background on that. And then I also uploaded on Canvas 2 chapters, chapters 6 and 7 in Fox, Applied Regression Analysis and Generalized Linear Models, where you'll get a little bit more details on kind of the properties and assumptions of OLS from a frequentist perspective. So you have a little bit more technical background there as well. And then what I will also do in the upcoming days, by the end of this week, I will upload assignment 2. That'll be posted on Canvas and RStudio Cloud, and that will be due then 2 weeks from now. So it will be due on February 26th. Last thing, a lot of the content that we reviewed this week builds on kind of the material that we talked about in the last semester's POL 701, specifically section 8, where I showed you how to derive OLS and show unbiasedness and analytically, again from a frequentist perspective, and section 9, where I uploaded a bunch of videos on how to interpret OLS coefficients with different model specifications, for example, logarithms, interactions, how to interpret dichotomous independent variables versus continuous independent variables and so on, right? So I just wanted to mention that, if you want to kind of refresh your memory on the stuff, on the material that we have covered in the past semester, make sure to check out those videos again, review those again, or keep them in mind if you need a little bit more background. Okay, I know this is kind of a lot of material for this week, but it's going to be worth it to really have this kind of broad review of linear regression to be able to move forward in the upcoming weeks. And with that, I'm gonna take a break and then continue with the first video on the frequentist properties of OLS.